Pressure from the outside. Mahomes steps up away from it, and he's going to take off. And look at this gain! Down the middle he goes to the Buffalo 25. Going against the best third down defense in the game. Mahomes, all kinds of time. Again, he's going to take off and succeed. Did he get the pylon? A little conference. Touchdown.
Does his best Superman impersonation. Always keeps his eyes downfield. Did he get here? Did he get in? Yes.
No question. Offset in the backfield. Pressure from behind. And somehow he's able to hold on to the football. He's allowed the explosive Chiefs. It's a little matchup inside of the game as Mahomes goes down the middle to find Kelsey, wandering free at the 35-yard line. So we feasted on Pittsburgh in those two games. Oliver chasing after Mahomes, who slings it sidearm. Look at that throw. Look at this.
I think he has to throw underneath the arm. You see that?
Brilliant. These Perks years ago used to be able to perfect that throw. Just like that, sidearm. Here is the handoff. Edwards-Helaire returns and takes off into the secondary, down to the 20. Gonna spin around. Bills are there, end zone, and Pringle is there. What a catch! Touchdown, Kansas City.
What a shock, Pringle, right? He just keeps showing up. First downs and touchdowns. And you know what? That's just still not showing up yet today.
Here's Hartman. Takes the handoff. Oh, somehow they missed him. He dives and he scores.
Oh my goodness!
How did that happen?
Hartman, there was a great job by Bell on the block. Kelsey blocks his guy all the way to the sideline. Oh, Hartman, I mean, you're going to see some good blocks, but watch this little subtle change. Oh, and then turn it back on. Fooled Addison, number 97.
All right, they got to punt it again. Bills, second best in the league in coverage. There was some pressure, and that one wobbles a bit to the 38. There's Hill. Now he turns it upfield, and he's still free. He's still free, stumbling and going. Still on his feet to the 15. And finally, the punter brings him down, but one of the pivotal moments in this game has just taken place. Down the middle. It's Hill in the open. Cuts it upfield. He might be gone. He is. Kansas City takes the lead with a minute to go from 64 incredible yards.
Well, we talked about Josh Allen needed to make a huge play. This place is going crazy. And then all of a sudden you got Superman himself comes out and he shows you Patrick Mahomes. Only that loss in overtime, but if he gets the ball, wow, what a strike. And then Tyreek does the rest. Cheetah says goodbye. He's even going to give a little wave here. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you're not catching him in the open field.
Two lead changes, 52 seconds apart.
Got away from Wallace. Turned the corner on Poyer and Hyde. Looking to the end zone for the win. He caught it. Ball game. Chiefs to the championship game.
These two guys know each other. Unbelievable. This is just unfathomable. The Bills had won this game. It was over. Josh Allen with a perfect postseason. And Patrick Mahomes somehow comes out there and shows the world, I'm still here. Andy Reid. Talking to the refs. Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see.
Did they have both feet down? We're just double checking.
Oh my goodness.
Don't see.
Oh, the left foot. Oh, I don't think it's over, Jim.
Yeah, I think there's a stutter step move that gets both down.
The ball might have moved too, so he gets both feet down there. But the ball...
Is the ball moving? Tell you, the field is pandemonium on the field.
There we go. 1, 2, right there. As long as that ball game, Chiefs win right there. It's over. Chiefs are hosting AFC Championship game number 4 in a row.
4 years in a row.
How the heck are you?
Dave,
Let's go.
It's Bills Chiefs week. What the heck?
Dude, here we are again.
Oh my gosh.
You're on your way to Minneapolis, but we just wanted to spend some time giving the people what the people want. Really, we're people of the people. And so, at this time of year, you and I get the same question from everybody that knows us when the Bills and Chiefs face off, and they really question our friendship and if our friendship is strong enough to endure another 13 seconds game. So what they don't realize is that we're in no matter what. So it's all good, but there are some things that we do need to talk about.
There's plenty. Yeah, and the 13 seconds, that one's an anomaly. I don't even that.
Yes.
But geesh.
Yeah, it's crazy. So if you have been dead to the NFL world, it's good for you to know that this Sunday night at 5:30 in the evening, we're going to kick off finally in Orchard Park, New York, not in Buffalo. It's in Orchard Park, which is not Buffalo. It's not Niagara Falls. It's OP, as the locals say. For the AFC.
Just to be clear, you got to earn it, Dave. So good for you. You got that one.
I know, 100%. Yep. He was offsides. If you want to know about it, you can look it up. And Kadarius Toney was not lined up correctly, which is really one of the reasons why we are here. So before we get to this AFC divisional game, we're going to talk plenty about the game. Before we get into that, Adam, talk to the people about how your Kansas City Chiefs fandom began. We all have an origin story. So give us the Kansas City Chiefs Adam C. Origin story for the people.
Yeah, I think most of the origin stories, Dave, they all start similar. Somewhere in elementary school on a playground, and people start showing up with their favorite colors. They have a little bit of time, and then they pick their team. So on a playground long ago, my favorite color was red, and just so happened one of the best players of all time, maybe the GOAT of that time, switched teams, and he went from the 49ers to the Chiefs, and that's when I jumped on. It was a bandwagon at that one time, but I didn't know what the playoffs were, and I didn't realize that we would never go back and win again since 1993. And that's where our stories intertwined, because 1993 AFC Championship game at Orchard Park.
Yep.
Chiefs, Bills. And it didn't go the Chiefs' way. Actually, a sad story. Joe Montana got kind of three linemen landed on him, and he never finished the game. So it's a sad issue. But that's how I became a Chiefs fan. Way back when, wearing red. How about yourself?
Dude. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. So I was living in Missoula, Montana, and surrounded by Broncos fans, because that's who you cheer for out here. So it's like Super Bowl time, and this is the first Super Bowl, and I wasn't really following NFL, and it's just so turned out that in the grocery store they were doing this contest, and you could win this Super Bowl gear or whatever. And it was the Bills and Giants, and so it was the year, the 1990 Super Bowl, whatever. And so ended up winning this contest, whatever, got this Super Bowl gear, and I was hooked. And so the first really year that I followed it, they were in the Super Bowl. Ended up they missed the kick to win the game, wide right. You can look it up. And then the next 3 years after that, they also made the Super Bowl. But the sad part is they lost all of those games. And so from that moment until 2017, we were in this huge playoff drought. And so, yeah, I've been a fan of this team for about 30 years. You can believe it or not. And this is a great time to be a Bills fan. Wasn't so great when we were 3-13 and 4-12 and 8-8 and JP Lossman and EJ Manuel and Doug, all these quarterbacks that we just could not get the answer. But then this,
Those are some names.
dude,
That alone proves you're a real Bills fan, Dave.
Yes.
If you say those names, you know.
Yes, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Kyle Orton. Oh my goodness.
And
So
he was on it too. We shared.
yes, that's right. But then the Bills. Then the Bills draft Joshua Patrick Allen out of the University of Wyoming, and it's kind of been up and to the right with a few bumps along the way. So super fun.
Like did you have a starter?
Okay.
Did you have a starter
I did.
jacket?
No, I did not have a starter jacket, but I did have an avid football card collector. So I had all the cards, had like one of those pennants, a Bruce Smith poster, Jim Kelly poster. Yeah, all that stuff, man. I've just been
That paragraph
hooked.
says enough. You're the real deal. You're the real deal.
Yes, sir. Okay, so another question I was thinking about, Adam, was who's on the Mount Rushmore of Chiefs for you? But not just like all the players people know. Like we know Joe Montana, we know Derek Thomas, all those guys. We know Marcus Allen. But who's on the Mount Rushmore for you of players that people might not necessarily know that for you were just like key in the Chiefs lore? So talk to us about that.
Wow, I love the question, just that even. But and sometimes you can answer the question like, "Hey, these are the 4 main dogs." So I'm glad you took that out of there. Now it's just personal. Hey, what are my favorite? My first game I ever went to, we weren't ready. It was December. The tickets were super cheap. We got to the top of the stadium and the opening kickoff. I didn't realize it was like last week. It was crazy.
Yeah.
We were not prepared. I had to sign up for a credit card just to get some patent gloves.
Sorry, Dave Ramsey. Sorry about it.
But your boy Dante Hall, there's a name.
Okay.
My shout out to my brother Ben C. He got us tickets in the opening kickoff. He took it to the house. And
Wow.
Dante Hall is electric in the 2000s. So you gotta say Dante Hall.
Yep.
I can tell you about so many guys. This is an obscure one, but Andre Rison played 1 or 2 seasons with the Chiefs, and that's when I really got into it, and I just thought he was bad moon rise. He did this little Spider-Man thing.
Yes.
He was, looking back, probably average, but my goodness, not that guy. You gotta throw. I mean, Jamal Charles. Really, people probably, if they follow football, they know who that is.
Yeah.
Charles is on the list. I do like those. A good running back, a wide receiver. Those are guys that I kind of go back and forth. Like somewhere over Dwayne Bowe, there's another one. Dwayne Bowe catching passes. Just I like those big receivers. You guys gave us Sammy Watkins too.
Yeah.
Sammy's a big reason we got the trophy. So shout out to Buffalo.
Let's go, dude.
Are there, Dave?
Oh man. Okay, so everybody knows, well, not everybody, because they're not all Bills fans, but Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, all of those guys. But from they're legendary. From the obscure, this linebacker Bryce Paup, Paup. Yeah, he was man, he was like the heart and soul of that defense for a while. So he's on the list for sure. This guy is legendary, but a lot of people don't know who he is. Steve Tasker. For my money, like probably one of the best. No, he was a special teams guy. So he was a wide receiver, but he returned kicks. And he was one of those like really fiery guys. He actually got kicked out of the last game he played against the Green Bay Packers. And I'll never forget. Dude, I know. I'll never forget it too, because I was watching it and he gets kicked out, and my mom is in the room watching it. Shout out to Catherine Butterfield. How you doing? She was like, you know what I like about football? They argue just so much. I don't like that young boy's attitude. And so that was just kind of how that went. So Steve Tasker, Bryce Pop, another one that I've got to go with, probably number 3 is this defensive end, Kyle Williams. So he played at Louisiana. He retired the year after they broke the playoff drought. Actually, the game, so the weekend, if Buffalo beats Miami, and then if Cincinnati beats Baltimore, Bills are in. So it's a New Year's Eve of 2017, and Kyle Williams catches a pass to score a touchdown. The Bills beat Miami, and then Andy Dalton shocks the world by throwing that mid-crosser for a touchdown, which gave us our first playoff game. So that's number 3. And I would say probably my number 4. And again, this is a guy who is really famous, but because it's the Bills, like people just don't really know about him, is Don Beebe. So he is like the 90s kid Tyreek Hill, right? Just like faster than everybody, right? So much so that in a Super Bowl, right? So against Dallas, he chases down, Leon Lett like 60 yards and knocks the ball out at the pylon, and so he doesn't score a big boy touchdown. So yeah, there's so many, but those are 4 that kind of come to mind from kind of obscurity. So we handled that. Another question that I was thinking about is, what is it about the Chiefs kingdom that kind of helps you fit into it? I think any team that you follow, like there's got to be something about you and about the team that you follow that like helps you be together. Like there kind of has to be like a chemistry, because otherwise, I like that team, but I don't really identify with that team. So what is it about Chiefs Kingdom that you feel like helps you identify with them? Talk about that maybe a little bit for the people.
I mean, I think you just have to pick a spot. Once you're there, you just learn more about it, and then finding other people like just listening to you go on these paragraphs. I knew all those guys on your Mount Rushmore, but I'm a nerd about it. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's something to talk about. It's the community that brings people together. I've got some season tickets, so we get to go to games, and one of my favorite things is actually just I like taking people from other teams to a game. So it's not even like some of my best friends who love football don't like the Chiefs. Now I got my own pack of guys who do like the Chiefs too, so we stick together for that. It's like hard to watch. It's hard to watch a big game like we sat in the same room and watch together. We do have respect and like each other's team.
Yeah.
It's hard to be genuinely joyful and then watch your buddy be really sad. But during the regular season, I took some first timers to the Eagles game this year. I took a first timer to the Lions game, and we lost both those games, but me and my brother Zach were just like, it was so sweet seeing them see. I remember the first game I went to and having the Chiefs win. It was just ridiculous. So it just they were cheering. But Arrowhead is an experience. The barbecue, the smell, the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I've heard the same thing. I haven't experienced Orchard Park, but I love the craziness of Bill's
Dude.
Mafia.
100%. Yeah. I would say that one of the major differences is Arrowhead is 100% a family show, right? Like you can take your kids, you would not have to worry. I do not feel the same way about Orchard Park. That is not a family show. Those people are setting tables on fire, jumping through them. I mean, it is just, it's a madhouse over there. And so that's maybe a good lead in to talk about the game a little bit. I mean, that is going to be, they're going to have themselves worked up into a froth by the time 6:30 Eastern time rolls around. But maybe let's talk about, there's a couple of things we can talk about when it comes to this game. One of the things is this whole conversation, you know, Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, they're good friends off the field. They golf together, they spend time together, like they're legitimate friends. So as much as the media, whether that's Nick Wright on First Take or Skip Bayless or, you know, whoever it happens to be on ESPN, Orlowski, that kind of want to have this GOAT conversation, like who's the best, who's better, who's the greatest, all of that. I don't know that they're really interested in that conversation as much as the media is. But talk about maybe some things that people should be looking out for in this game. Both of these teams have had a really interesting season, not the season they were probably planning for, and they've had bumps along the way. They've both had some really bad losses, some surprising losses. And so, yeah, talk to the people about some things that they should be looking out for as we talk about Sunday night.
Well, I think it's just good to, I always appreciate great teams, and especially a season of a great team. And maybe that's why this year's been bumpy for both teams, is because it's so hard to keep consistent when you've had success. So these teams have been on the, you've met multiple times, even in the playoffs, but it's because we're in the mix. And that's the crummy part. From here on out, there's 8 teams, and at the end of it all, one team gets to be happy. Where it's like, man, you're in the top 8 out of 32 teams. You're playing something that matters. So this is the greatest time to be a Chiefs fan in the history of Chiefs football. But if you go prior to 2019, we drafted Patrick Mahomes, and anyways, he showed up and changed. I mean, since then, that was the first year I had season tickets, and I went from before that I could give them away to now I sold every single one I had this year, and that was before Taylor showed. So my people got some good deals out but I bring all that up because I do know the history. I do know the history of Buffalo, and I've watched the 30 for 30 of Buffalo, and watching what's his name miss the kick.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, so sad.
Did you say his name, Dave?
Yeah. Scott Norwood is who you're thinking of.
Yes, I am. But that was so close. But that was the greatest time to be a Buffalo fan. So this has got to be great because it's the second coming. But as far as accomplishing, no time has been better. No, those guys accomplished more than anything. They were right there. They were knocking. Just one easy kick in here. You have a chance. So I feel for you on that, but I do. Our histories are very similar. Take away the last few years, and but 5 years ago, people were cheering for the Chiefs. Oh my goodness, I hope they really do it. Just like people feel about Buffalo, and just like people feel about Detroit. It's the teams. Detroit has never even gotten there. It's never gone on the hunt. Buffalo has gotten there and had good players and teams. They just have came so close, but they haven't officially got their trophy. So so I'm excited. The game's in Orchard Park. I think that's cool. And I have said this out loud too, Dave. If it ain't the Chiefs, let it be the Bills. But
let's go.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say it out loud, but I genuinely cheer for the Bills. I remember I was at the 13-second game. And I had Bills behind me, and I have for whatever reason, tons of friends that are Bills fans. We got to shout out B real quick. And B, I hope you're watching. But I had given up because I've watched football enough that I said, hey, and apparently the Bills did too, is I shook everybody's hand and said, you guys, you did it. You're moving on. You got one more till the Super Bowl. I shook everybody's hand. I was the nicest guy. And then I turned around and we're moving into field goal range. So
unbelievable.
That's the craziest. But I think that makes this, look at the rest of the divisional games. Now the thing is nobody's watching those games like they're watching this.
Yeah.
Because it's just box office because of Mahomes and Allen and so many great players. The teams are well balanced. That amazing game this year, he was offside. What happened when he was offside? The toss to Kelsey, that whole thing, it was amazing. And you see anything like that, I think the NFL calls it for a win. And I do realize at this point they're leaning Buffalo. That's fine. I don't mind it.
Yes. No. Yeah. I think all of that is really well said. And, I think, there's a larger conversation of like, this is sort of the reincarnation of Manning Brady, right? Yep. Where like Brady kind of had the step until he didn't, until Peyton kind of figured it out. And we're kind of, as an organization, in this thing where like we keep butting our heads against the wall of not Jericho, but the wall of Arrowhead, and so I think now that it's in Orchard Park, I think it's not going to be a weather difference, but I think to me, one of the things to really look out for is the communication. And it's so hard. You see any team play in Arrowhead and the quarterback's got his hands on his head, pushing against his ears, trying to hear, what his, offensive coordinator is saying. It's so loud. Like you don't like hear Arrowhead, you feel it. And so And so I think that will be really interesting going to this game, what the communicate, because even the 13 seconds game, right? So, the Chiefs are driving down and Mahomes turns to his left and he goes, do it, Kelsey, do it.
Yeah.
And that's how they win. Well, I'm not sure in Orchard Park you're going to be able to do that.
Yep.
So, I think that'll be interesting. So, kind of a few questions to finish up. One is the thing that you are most concerned about going into this game as a Chiefs fan. You've watched them all year. You've ridden the wave. What's like your greatest area of concern as you go into it?
It's I don't like talking about the drop passes because they sometimes can be blown out of pressure there.
Yeah.
We'll put the ball in people we can count on hands. Sure. And I even noticed, I said, we'll do it. That's always so fun. That's what's being a great fan. It feels like you're a part of it.
Yeah.
But then,
yes.
Look at us, Dave.
Let's go.
Here, it feels like we're. And that's the real fan. You live and die with them, but ultimately, this drives me crazy. Half the game is defense.
Yeah.
Half the game is defense. So as much as they pin Mahomes and Josh Allen, I saw Josh Allen tear us up, and he did that little shoulder shrug thing after he scored like his touchdown. I saluted it. I was like, wow, he is insane. But he doesn't play with Mahomes. They don't play each other.
Yes.
The offense, defense, and it's 11 dudes.
Yeah.
So they mesh and put it together. I like that we've got a great defense, and that this is our first time in Orchard Park, but this is also our first time with a great defense. So I think that's Allen's going to have to deal with a great defense, and Mahomes is going to have to deal with the monster. It's going to be loud. It's going to be different. So those two things kind of offsetting, and it might come down to one play, and hopefully our foot is on the right side of the line. Say it that way.
Yeah. Okay, so how about this? The Chiefs win if. Finish that sentence.
It's going to be a defense. Mahomes is due to go crazy, but I just think the Chiefs win if the defense shows up. We're undefeated. If we 21 points.
Yeah.
Undefeated. We're holding teams under 20 consistently. So that's kind of the number we're at. The Bills win if.
Yeah. The Bills win if Allen does not turn the ball over. That's the biggest knock on him. He has the most incredible arm arrogance I have ever seen. He throws balls that nobody should throw, including himself. But sometimes he completes them. But sometimes he's going to throw it to the other team. And like, he is a wild animal out there. And but they're 17-0 when he plays turnover-free football. So they've never lost when he's not thrown a pick. So I think that is a really big key. Like, I'm thinking like a 3rd and 6, and he's rolling to his right. He escapes the pocket, and he's got Diggs on a crosser, but he's got to throw it across his body. I just want him to throw it away and punt versus turning it over to L'Jarius Sneed on the 40-yard line. So yeah, all of that. So yeah, I think Buffalo wins if he doesn't turn the ball over. I would say my greatest concern going into the game is some of our defensive injuries. I mean, we lost this last weekend Terrell Bernard, who plays the middle linebacker for us. That is a major loss. Taron Johnson, our slot corner, he's in concussion protocol. We'll see what happens with that. We've already lost Matt Milano, our outside linebacker. So with some teams, you don't worry about it as much because you can get enough pressure with your front 4. You don't have to worry as much about your back 7. But the Chiefs are a team, I'm afraid Pat is just going to carve up the middle of our defense. Kelsey, Noah Gray, don't sleep on any of those cats. So that's my greatest concern.
You're a student of the game. I will say this, dude. I think a Bills fan is a little more nervous.
Yeah.
If we lose, we're the 3 seed. We're in Buffalo. We're not supposed to win. We're not supposed to win. I looked up before I was looking. Hey, what are the pundits saying? They're all picking Buffalo.
Yeah.
And I love to see it because count out Mahomes. Try to.
Yeah. Totally.
He's got like a laser focus. His tongue goes out. And when this ain't the regular season, he's different. A different guy. And I'm not saying we're gonna win. I'm not doing that, but I'm saying when he's locked in, it's awesome. But I truly do like the Buffalo Bills. I do not hate them. But that I think we do need to say, because this is a cute episode for anybody who's been watching. It's like, look, these two best friends cheering on their two favorite teams. It's all good. But I want to make sure that the people know that there are teams we don't like. So Dave, could we just go there for a second before we sign off that they're up? You did hear me already. So that was give you.
Yeah. So the thing that unites us together is just the, not disdain, but just the annoyance of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now we got to say, it's not that we're annoyed by their fans, but it's more just of
Shout out
Todd Alberty.
Shout out to those boys. But yes, there's an annoyance towards Jamar Chase, to the chirping, to the Burrowhead and Mahomes is your daddy, or Mahomes is daddy, whatever. Come on now. Get out of here with that.
Yeah. And even, during, with the Lamar Hamlin incident and all of that, following all of that, there's this conversation of, okay, if the Chiefs and the Bills end up tied at the end of the year, we got to figure out like a neutral site game. And so they're going to play that neutral site in God's country, Atlanta, Georgia. And then Cincinnati gets all upset because the NFL is selling tickets before the Buffalo-Cincinnati game has even been kicked off.
Which they do every time.
Right? Yes, 100%. And
I have tickets to the AFC Championship if Houston wins and the Chiefs win. That's not new. You have to be prepared, and they're going to sell them season ticket owners first, so that when that day happens and there's 6 days to prepare, the tickets can go quick.
Yes. Yeah, you're making something out of nothing. And so it's just sort of some of those reasons that I just find the whole thing just too much. And so, yeah, we do have to say that's one thing that unites us. But Todd, we love you. Sorry about it. But
I don't like an injury for sure. That part of the game I can't say. But it was so satisfying to watch the Cincinnati Bengals not finish last, finish the closest to the playoffs without getting in.
Yes. Oh, sorry about it. Sorry about it. Okay, before we log off, we got to do predictions. I'm a gentleman, so I'm going to let you go first.
Okay, wait a second, though. We did not mention the Patriots in our last segment.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They have fallen from grace. They don't even get mentioned in that sentence. But I used to hate them, and now somehow we become them. And I cannot believe we've been to 3 Super Bowls. I can't believe we won 2. I can't believe Taylor Swift is cheering for me. And we mentioned this whole segment until the end. So
wild.
Man, this isn't the love story that the Buffalo Bills are living. But give me Kansas City a 23-17 Chiefs victory. 23-17, something like that.
Yep, I can see it.
It's biased at all.
Sure. Yep.
But also, to be the first person to call you, Dave, the Bills win, it won't be bitterness. It'll be celebration. And
of course.
If you're going to beat us, just go get one of these.
Let's go.
Okay?
Let's go. Or
else don't even play around with it all. All right.
Yes.
Out those teams.
Let's go. Okay. So I'm thinking really similar. I think it's going to be really tight. I don't think it's going to be. I think the over-under is like 45. I mean, I think, it's going to be close to hit that. I'm going to say 24-23 Buffalo, a last-second field goal to win. Here's what I'm thinking. I have watched Josh his whole career, but especially these last 6 games, I just feel like he won't be denied. I just feel like if there's a time, because part of it is if you don't beat Kansas City now, when? Like, when are you going to do it? Like, if it's not this year, this is your shot. And I just think it's going to come down to a couple plays, and it's going to come down to the momentum and the comfort of playing at home. And I think, you have one last drive. I mean, I want to throw up just thinking about the Bills being down by a couple points with 2 minutes to go and having to score. But yeah, that's how I see it playing out. 24-23, Tyler Bass with like a 37-yard field goal, something like that. And my 2 little boys going crazy in the basement.
I like the energy, Dave. And I think you said denied. I love that because what I've seen about Mahomes is like he's smart, he makes the plays, but he uses his legs in big games. Last week he cracked a moment in Miami, but he went head on into trying to get to the end zone. Yeah. And I noticed that last week with Josh Allen too. Sometimes he was just, I'm going to make this play, and you got to do that in a game like this. I can see both of them. Those little runs, picking up first downs here and there, and really laying it out on the line to try to get the win. But I know they're best friends. We are too. Hey, no Bills, no Chiefs. Let's have a great one. Represent the AFC. Roll back to the 1993. That was the AFC Championship. But I truly believe that if we seeded this thing, the Chiefs and Bills, I know we can never meet in the championship, but my goodness. We've been 2 of the top teams a couple years. We certainly could have, and our games have been some of the most fun ones to watch in the whole league.
100%. All right, well, if you've made it this far, congratulations. Thanks for watching. And yes, and hopefully we'll be back maybe with another episode for the Super Bowl, and we'll see what happens. So, all right, my guy, good. Thanks for coming on. Let's go.
Come on.
Thanks, everybody.